But I brought it up, yeah, that's what we're with that, that's so fun.
Right.
Okay, so that's seven. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sunday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A little bit of a haul here, yeah, I'm gonna go check on it.
So.
I think it's shit, I said, it's got 78.
It's a different world.
Even if her.
It was prior to that's it.
Yeah.
No, that's it, then, I don't care.
Yeah, that's the world. It's always. Yeah, we're doing it Thursday night. 8 o'clock. Yes, won't take long time. Yeah.
Pretty good. It's always light in July.
Yeah. All right, I guess we'll call the meeting to order and
Appreciate you.
try to respect everybody's time. We'll get started. So, start out with the roll call.
Russ Rhodes.
Here.
Scott Treese.
Here.
Jim Silliman.
Here.
Keith Drippy.
Here.
Arthur Jones. Mike Heichu.
Here.
Mayor Larry Dangerfield.
Here.
Jordan Basham.
Here.
It's in the holiday. Oh.
That's like, I think that's the third meeting in a row. That's,
Parking lot.
all right, is Pat Howard gonna be here today? Oh, there, okay, Pat Howard. Okay, Nicole Ruffalo,
Here.
Kevin Gibson. Deputy Judge Executive John Park. Got Melvin Phoenix. Judge Executive Scott Bates.
Here.
Jonathan Bates.
Here.
Troy Pop. Jody Bramblett. Judge Executive John Ogburn.
Here.
Neil Martindale.
Here.
Jim Hoskins.
Here.
Mark Bates. And Terry Roach. All right. So we got a quorum.
Good. Thank you so much.
Third.
And appreciate everybody's attendance today. We'll start off with approval of the minutes from our April 14th meeting. Those were sent out earlier. You've had the opportunity to look at those. We would accept a motion to approve the minutes.
I'll make the motion.
All right,
Dan.
much for giving me up. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second, thank you, sir. Any further discussions, corrections, additions need to be made to the minutes? Seeing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All right, thank you so much. All right, so Debbie, we're looking for a KIA update.
I got you one.
Hey, Debbie, how are you doing today?
I'm good. How are you all? Thank you all for letting me zoom in. I cut it too close on time today and had visitors in the office and wasn't going to be able to make it there in time. So thanks for letting me zoom in.
Oh, that's perfect.
To get started, we'll start out with Kentucky Waters. This year's General Assembly awarded 17 projects for a total amount of $52,502,260 for the fiscal year of 2026. The General Assembly made some changes to the requirements of the next round of Kentucky Waters. KIA has the details and the new forms on the website. Now, the call for projects for Kentucky Waters has already opened, and it is open until August the 31st. Some of those changes does include a new scoring rubric. 3 out of 7 criteria must be met, and projects for new lines or extensions are not eligible. And remember, guys, with this Kentucky Waters, the earlier you submit your application, the better for you, because that way they can come back and ask questions, or if you need assistance with the application, you know, they can give you that time right now. where if you wait till the last minute, they may not be able to give you that individual attention and time. The General Assembly awarded $45 million for fiscal year 27 and another $45 million for fiscal year 28. In SRF world, the draft IUP has been released. Fiscal year 27 SRF loan invitations will go out mid to late July. Approximately $110 million for clean water. The cap for this one project will be $20 to $25 million. Approximately $50 million for drinking water. We're not sure what the cap is going to be on this one yet. Approximately $50 to $55 million in lead service line replacement. The final IUP will be ready early fall. For the fiscal year 27, this is the last year of the bill money, so keep that in mind. EPA is really putting pressure on the states to spend SRF money faster. So if you have outstanding SRF loans that are not under assistance agreement or haven't been drawing money, you will probably be hearing from us soon. Currently, KIPDA has 4 loans that are not under assistance agreement. House Bill 392, small purchase. KRS 45A 385 amended the small purchase limit to $50,000 effective July 15th. Starting in 2030, the small purchase maximum will increase by $10,000 every 5 years, effective on January 1st of each year. Finance will announce the small purchase maximum each year. Line items is a big topic this time of year, and on House Bill 900, they awarded a total of 58 total projects. KIPDA Area Development District received 6 awards. And now, but guys, you got to keep this in mind. This is for fiscal year 27 and 28 budget year. Those six awards was the Bullitt County Clearview Farm, Bullitt County Wastewater Plant in Pioneer Village, our friends at Eminence, Sewer Force Main Mulberry Pike Arbor View Subdivision, North Shelby Water Company, Flat Creek Water Line Extension, the City of Milton for the sewer water upgrades, and my friend Scott Treese at LaGrange Utilities for water sewer upgrades. I was real happy to see that one. Guys, what we're planning to do, those announcements we'll send out announcement letters. You should be seeing those anytime now. And that's going to go for, if you got a 27 or a 28, you should see that announcement here soon. And remember, for anybody at KIPDA, I'm going to be your person. So I'll be your contact. And especially my new friends at Eminence, because you're new to this process, use me. I guarantee I can make it a lot easier on you. If you ask anybody, ask Scott Treese, he'll tell you. I make the process a lot easier on you.
Very good.
Okay. WRS. In the fall, the Division of Water will provide the guidance documents to our WRS coordinator, Don Shire, and the call for projects will open around September 19th and will close mid-December. At that time, the profiles will be locked and profiles will be unlocked in January with the DOW comments. DOW rankings will be out in spring, usually late March, early April. Remember, Water Management Council ranking criteria is due mid-November. Cleaner Water Grant Update. This is where it gets interesting, guys. There are approximately 950 projects awarded for this funding. As of Monday morning on June 13th, we have $107,324,538 left to dispense before the end of the year. That's a lot of draws. That's a lot of money, guys. So if you have money on the table, see me. Let's talk. Let's figure out a way to spend that money. Let's not leave any unused money on the table, because all funds do have to be dispersed by December 31st of 2026.
Debbie, that's across the
Yeah,
state, though, correct?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
Everybody has to have their cleaner water by then. It would literally take an act of Congress to change that date. And KIA is requesting that all final draws be made by November 1st to allow time for processing. We know that some of you guys are still going to have stuff going on, and we're going to still be processing those draws right up until the 31st. But let's try to make it easier on us and try to get, so I don't have a windfall at the end. And then don't forget our local issues. It's our 50th year, our 50th anniversary year for our local issues conference. And it's August the 19th through the 21st at the Golf House in Louisville. And so I'm expecting a great time this year because it's our 50th year. So make sure to make plans to attend that. Guys, that's really all I have. Does anybody have any questions for me?
All right.
Okay,
Thank
that's
you.
all I got.
All right.
Thank you, Debbie.
All right, we'll move right on down the list. We've got Matt Lips with Division of Water, to give us an update there.
All right. Yeah. Hello, everyone. Let me get this presentation pulled up. All right. So first of all, just want to say thanks to Justin for reaching out and having me discuss a little bit about the Kentucky Area-Wide Optimization Program. I get I get really excited when I get to talk about our program and what things we can do for water systems in Kentucky. So with that, I'm Matt Lips, the Kentucky Division of Water. So I'm with the Drinking Water Branch, technical assistance. So we assist public drinking water systems, with compliance. We assist with meeting AWAP goals, et cetera. So as we go through this presentation, I'll give you a little bit of an overview of the program in case some of you aren't familiar with it. But 10, 15 minutes, I'll try to get through what I've got. So I'll go ahead and get started here. So what is AWAP? It's the Area Wide Optimization Program. So it's an EPA program that is administered at the state level. It's a voluntary program for states, and it's a voluntary program for water systems. The key to remember is the term voluntary. So systems participate, and they can receive awards and certificates for meeting AWAP goals on a yearly basis. And so we have microbial area-wide optimization program, which focuses on turbidity and the microbial side of treatment. And then we also have the disinfection byproducts program, which focuses on disinfection byproducts, which is a byproduct of chlorine and organics in drinking water. So we're lucky in Kentucky. This AWAP program is built into our job description. So, everything we do is AWAP related. And so we have lots of tools, lots of trainings, lots of contacts and networks for water systems if they're having issues, to be able to maybe find a path forward, to mitigate any problems that they're having. And so it's a good way to get, the state and the public water systems engaged and working together. And that's why on our side, we're strictly technical assistance. And so when we come to a plant, we're there to help, if we can. One thing too that I want to kind of let you know is there's no penalties for being in the program. We do require systems to submit a letter that they're going to shoot for these AWAP goals. They're going to try and meet those. And so they send in a letter, and they know the goals. We kind of outline that when we're talking to them about joining the program. And then from there, we start to track their data, and they'll track a little more data for us. But basically, this system, this program encourages systems to go above and beyond regulatory compliance. So, it's just one of those things. If we can meet compliance, then we can do even better. And so that's the goal of the program, is to get folks thinking in those terms. So optimization. So the first thing is safer water. I mean, that's what we all want. That's what we're all working towards. Got improved compliance as well. Everyone wants to be in compliance. So one of the things with this program is, we have a lot of these trainings that EPA, we do trainings with EPA, and then we bring those back to the state. And then we implement those with drinking water operators, drinking water distribution system operators. And so we found out that through this program, getting operators in a room together, and kind of getting those folks opened up as far as talking and talking about their systems. That's kind of the highlight of AWOP, is doing the field events and doing the classroom events where we have interactive things for operators to do, and work together with maybe systems that they have no idea about. And sometimes that's the best way to kind of find some solutions, is to talk to other systems who may be having a similar issue. And we encourage them to work together on that as well. The big thing is getting the most out of existing infrastructure. So the purpose of the program is to optimize what you already have. We don't want these huge capital projects if it's not necessary, because a lot of systems can't afford that. The money may not be there. So looking at every step of the process and trying to optimize chemical feeds, looking at water loss and those kind of things. And then just a little background on how we use AWOP and how we've implemented it in the state. It's a proactive approach. So basically, we look at our surface water systems throughout the state. There's 140-ish of those plants. And so we look at those and we rank them based on performance in regards to AWOP goals. And then we prioritize based on that list of someone who may not be meeting AWOP goals that might be able to use the help. So us as a state, there's, in my section, we have 5 folks that are covering the entire state, and then me as the supervisor in Frankfurt. So we can't be everywhere all the time. And so, it's good to kind of have this system. That way we can kind of have a top 10 list or something that we can go off of to reach out to systems that may need assistance and see if we can provide any help for them. And then the program approach, we look at everything from the administrative side of things to the design of plants, and then also the maintenance. So basically, the way I look at this is the administrative design and maintenance are your pillars that kind of hold up this optimized system. So if it's a capable water system, they can become optimized in many instances. So looking at that, process control changes, being willing to see changes that need to be made and be willing to try something like that. That all goes hand in hand with becoming optimized. So basically every step and every process of a water treatment plant or a distribution system, you have to have those 3 main pillars to kind of hold that system up. And if one drops off or is not pulling their weight, then it can show in the entire system. So as far as recognition for what these systems do, this is kind of the highlight of my year. I get to go to the Kentucky Water and Wastewater Operator Conference. Every year I get to hand out these awards and certificates to systems. And it's just a joy to be able to do that and thank these folks for the work that they do. So This year, I was able to hand out 41 systems. They received the certificate of recognition for the microbial program. So that's out of 87 participants who are signed up and are part of the program. 17 of those met the goals 100% of the time. They get an extra gold seal for that recognition. So, a lot of plants, the reason we want to do this is that way they can take these things out. They can put them in the newspaper. They can take pictures and put them on Facebook. Say, hey, here's the work that we're doing. We're doing an outstanding job. We're going above and beyond regulations. And anything to kind of shed positive light on water treatment, water operators, because it seems like the only time that they ever get any kind of, you don't hear about it unless something bad happens, right? A boil water advisory or something just goes crazy wrong. So we like to have this positive aspect, and so that's one reason we do the awards, and it helps build morale too as systems can finally start meeting these goals. And then the Microbial Champion Award. So we give 2 of those out every year, and they have to have outstanding performance for 3 consecutive years and have no Safe Drinking Water Act violations. And so for small systems like this in 2025, Laurel County Water District number 2 received that. And then as far as our large system recipient, that was London Utility Commission, and they have won this award several times. And actually, I think it was London Utility Commission that actually had gotten raises based off of their outstanding performance, over the last several years. So, I mean, these things can make a difference. And so we're really happy to be able to provide things that might help operators and systems. As far as the disinfection byproducts certificate of recognition, we have 31 active participants in that. 11 of those met the requirements to receive that award. And you have to remember DBPs those goals are really stringent, and so they're really hard to meet. And so 11 systems meeting that is pretty good. And so we've made it a priority as we go to systems to encourage them to sign up. Even if you can't meet the goals, it gives you something to work towards. They're always there. Just kind of gives you a little bit more to strive for. So as far as our team, so this is kind of the way that we are spread out across the state. So start with myself here in Frankfort as the AWAP coordinator and the supervisor of the technical assistance section. And then Gabe Tanner also in Frankfort along with Destiny Hall Combs. So they provide technical assistance in the Lexington or the Frankfort and Louisville region, sorry. Zoe Scott is in Louisville and provides assistance in the Louisville region, also Columbia and Bowling Green too. Brianna Draffin is out west, covers our western end of the state, Madisonville and Paducah region, along with Jackie Logston there as well. CJ Bailey covers South Central, James Napier's in the southeast, and Shelby Gunther is in the northeast part of the state. And I'll get around to this just a little bit more here at the end if I have time. I'm going to kind of give you a tour of our website just so that you can see what all we offer for systems. So we take a 2-part approach, and I just wanted to kind of go with DBPs. It's kind of the season we're in. We've got this hot weather, so I was just going to kind of look at DBPs a little bit here. We have a couple different approaches to that. Distribution system optimization trainings is one of those AWAP trainings that we were a part of in the past. We brought that back to Kentucky, and we've started using that with our distribution system operators and water treatment plant operators. So basically, we're looking for a regional group. That way we can, get several systems involved and get them in one room, like I mentioned earlier, get them talking and see if they can come up with some things together. And they need to know each other. That way, if something comes up, they need help. That's always an option too. So this training consists of 2 modules, and then the system collects, chlorine data for 6 to 12 months. and then a follow-up during the module 2 of the DSO event. And we completed 2 of these module 1 trainings of this set of trainings in Eastern Kentucky and Western Kentucky earlier this spring. And so first module of training, focuses on understanding how to determine critical sampling sites in your system. Also do some hands-on training, measuring residual chlorine using a hydrant sampler. And I was just going to kind of point out here, this is when I refer to a hydrant sampler, this is what I'm referring to. And the reason that's important is this is how we calculate flush time to make sure we're getting accurate. We're not over flushing, we're not under flushing, we're getting the water from the main that we want to get. And so it's really important, that systems know how to use these, and it's one of those things they can build their own if they're inclined to do so. So there's just a lot here that we can bring to them, that if they want to move forward with it, they can. We also offer, jar testing and looking at different kinds of chemicals and like coagulants and stuff like that as well. And then our other approach is targeted technical assistance, which is our primary approach, because we're so spread out and it's hard to get to everyone. But it's a one-on-one system-specific assistance. And then, a lot of times it takes multiple site visits that can include data collection. And I'll kind of go into this just a little bit more. And if I run over time, somebody just say, hey, stop. But I've just got a couple slides left. So as far as our targeted technical assistance, like this is the normal path we take. These are the stairs we climb. And so this is just kind of a look of our progression of when we're helping a system. There may be issues that we can solve 4 or 5 steps up, and we don't have to go any further. And there may be systems we have to go all the way to the top and try to figure out what to do to help that system. And this can be with microbial, with turbidity. This can be DBP related as well. And then we've got all these other things with corrosion control that's coming in, and we're working. AWOP's doing a lot of work on that too. And so pretty much anything is just kind of the basic staircase that we climb. Looking at that plant profile, so basically I wanted to kind of draw your attention to this picture. There's some things that we can do when we come out to a plant, and I'm just going to go ahead to the next slide and kind of show that blown up. So we do some hold studies, distribution system hold studies. So basically, we set this cooler up. We have some chlorine demand-free bottles that we use. Water, we fill those up with finished water from the water plant, put them in the cooler, and then we consistently circulate water from their finished water through that cooler to maintain the temperature of their treated water during this test. So DBP samples are taken at regular intervals to determine chlorine decay. UV254, which is organics, some, TOC and UV254 is how we measure that. And then also DBP production, in the water that's currently coming out at the plant tap. So we kind of know where we're starting from. At the conclusion of the whole study, a determination can be made of how long it takes for DBPs to form in the water system. And then this just kind of lets us know and lets the system know if more treatment is needed at the plant. Are we doing what we need to do here? Or is most of our problems in the distribution system, do we need to adjust our flushing program and things like that? So I just kind of wanted to throw that in there because this is always neat to look at. And there's a lot that we can determine from like a test like this. Generally, the test runs over a week with samples being taken from, as operators are taking those samples too throughout the week. So it's good practice there as well. And then just to finish up, technical assistance page and our area-wide optimization program page, I just wanted to kind of show you on there just a few things real quick. So we up at the top of the page, we've totally redone this page. We're trying to make it more user friendly. We want to get feedback from folks to say, hey, this is what we need on your site. We had some things on here before that were outdated. So it's a total revamp of our website. And so One of the things we've added is some trainings here. We don't have anything on there yet. We've had some travel difficulty lately, so we haven't got anything scheduled just yet. But as we do, this will update so folks can sign up to get their CEU credit hours through our trainings. And then if you're curious of who your technical assistance provider is from DOW in your regions or your county, you can go to this map, just click on your county, and it will pop up who you need to contact, what they do, email address, and that sort of thing. And then as far as like information, we're starting to get it where we want it. You can click on these accordions and look at more about the AWOP program, like the national program, and then our program. There's all kinds of links that provide good information for the program, and then links for like the hydrant sampler I mentioned, to put one of those together. Yeah, so just kind of as much as you would want in here is what we want in here. So if anyone has ideas, always shout it out, and get as many folks to go to this page and check it out as you can. And we're always updating to our spreadsheets and things that we use when we do jar testing and stuff like that. And so those are some things too that we're hoping is going to be really useful. And then maybe in time start maybe putting some videos on with tutorials about how to do some of these spreadsheets, and things like that. So I'm probably at my 15 minutes, so I'll stop now. But if anyone has any questions, I'd be glad to answer them.
Questions for Matt? Appreciate your time today, Matt. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you.
All right. We will move right on down the list. We have Chloe and Dale, I think both on the line, and they're gonna talk to us about source water protection updates and what's going on there.
Yeah, thank you for having us. I'm going to try and share my screen as well. Maybe you guys can let me know if I do it properly. Okay. All right. Can you see those slides?
It's coming up, yes.
Okay, brilliant. All right, well, I'm gonna hop in first. My name's Dale Booth, with the Kentucky Division of Water, and I'm gonna give a brief overview of a couple of our funding programs, and then I'm gonna turn it over to Chloe Brantley with Kentucky Rural Water Association to talk about some of her programs as well. And to start off, I'm gonna be talking about the Source Water Protection Assistance Program, which we call SWPAP for short. So this is a program where most of you in the room are very well familiar with the Drinking Water State Revolving Fund, but you may not be as aware of the fact that there is actually a provision in the Safe Drinking Water Act that allows for states to have a set aside of a portion of their annual grant to put towards specific actions that support water system capacity, compliance, and public health protection. So different states use this set aside in a variety of different ways. In Kentucky, we focus on prioritizing source water protection actions, and we use these set-asides to provide funding for this Source Water Protection Assistance Fund. It's not a huge set-aside. The State Revolving Fund gives us a budget of about $180,000 annually, and we work with mostly public water systems to meet their source water protection goals. Now, the program's been through a couple of iterations over the years. Some of you may have been involved early on, 2014 to 2017, when the SWPAP program was more of an open call for projects. And it was a little bit more of a broader scope where we were accepting proposals to do things like rain gardens or bioinfiltration. We did educational materials for source water protection and interpretive signage, and also water quality monitoring. So projects that were meant to support protecting drinking water sources across the state. And this map shows where we worked between 2014 and 2017. Couple of examples of projects that we did during that first iteration. This is a rain garden that was installed in the city of Georgetown. It was located in an area within the wellhead protection area for the water system. and specifically cited because they were having stormwater drainage into a sinkhole that was affecting the aquifer. So we were able to use SWPAT funding to install this rain garden, and then also educational signage, and sort of making it a good spot for school field trips and community events to raise awareness around the importance of groundwater and groundwater protection. Another example, Louisville Water Company received funding to identify abandoned water wells that need to be abandoned, septic tanks, and heating oil tanks that were then logged into a database that was associated with the level of risk to the aquifer of that particular contaminant source, and prioritized for removal while part of their source water protection plan. And they used this information to generate educational materials and an education outreach campaign to reach out to the customers in the wellhead protection area and help remediate some of these problems. And for example, they often found wells that needed new caps or needed to be removed, and we were able to eliminate some of those potential risks for contamination entering into the aquifer. And I brought up this particular example because it's kind of emblematic of a lot of the applications that we received early on during that 2014-2017 area involved proposals to remove derelict wells. Removing and properly abandoning wells is really an important step in protecting groundwater because they're a conduit for pollution to contaminate aquifers. And regulations actually require that wells should be properly abandoned, aka plugged, by a licensed driller within 30 days of that well being taken out of service or no longer meeting its primary use. This is kind of one of those things that creates a financial burden for smaller systems in a lot of cases. So with that in mind, we had a bit of a funding pause between 2017 and 2022, but when we were able to restart funding, we decided to prioritize the plugging and proper abandonment of wells, which is not a particularly flashy or exciting example, but it is a very concrete and necessary action to protect groundwater that's used for drinking water. So from 2022 to the present, we have been working specifically on plugging derelict wells throughout the state. And here you can see where we've been working. So far, we have done a pretty good job, I think, getting a lot of wells taken out of service. We have 6 in the queue for the current fiscal year, and they're currently underway. As part of this project, we partner with Kentucky Rural Water Association, and I'll get into a little bit more in a couple slides about how Rural Water Association is helping us to make this program happen. Some examples of some of the places where we've been working. Warsaw Waterworks, we were able to abandon 3 wells, and this was an interesting one because while one was in the current well field, 2 were constructed in the 1930s and were a bit problematic because they were located in the firehouse in the city of Warsaw and had not been in use since 2012. It actually required us taking a roof off and going into the building to abandon those wells. In the city of South Shore, we were able to go in and help close a full well field. You probably are familiar that South Shore was having some significant issues with PFAS detection in the city's drinking water, which warranted changing to a new water source in Portsmouth, Ohio, due to the health concerns associated with the exposure to PFAS. So in our first round of funding, we were able to remove 11 wells. And then I'm happy to report just last month, we were able to take out the final 12th well, and now that well field is closed. There's some challenges to this. There's a lot of variability in cost due to the different conditions on site and the realities on the ground not often, sometimes not meeting what the records say. Means that the project requires quite a bit of coordination and legwork to try and make sure that we can get the water plant's needs met. We're dealing with a lot of issues with changing costs of price of materials and lack of driller availability in certain regions of the state. And the administrative burden of working with federal dollars can be a bit of a burden for those smaller grants or smaller water systems, excuse me, and also smaller drillers. So one of the things that makes this program really work well is that we partner with Kentucky Rural Water Association, who they actually do the grand majority of the legwork on this project. Chloe Brantley, who will be speaking here shortly, is pictured. She actually goes across the state and helps us to gather a list of potential wells that need service. Does a lot of the contacting of the systems and the landowners to participate, and also coordinates with the certified drillers and gets those quotes and estimates together, and assists with all the administrative aspects of the grant and reporting. So the Kentucky Rural Water has just been a really key partner in this and is instrumental in getting these projects completed. And I have a slide here for, please contact me if you have questions or have interest in or a system that you know might be in need of being added to our priority list. And our website is there. Justin, should I just dive right into the next one, or should I pause for questions here?
Does anyone have any questions for Dale at all at this point of her presentation? Feel free to dive right in, Dale.
Okay. Well, in that case, in the interest of time, I'm just going to dive into my next one. And I'm probably not going to belabor this one too much because we're actually past the application deadline on this one, but I want you to know about it for next year. The Sewer Overflow and Stormwater Reuse Municipal Grant is my other program. And this is a grant that prioritizes doing green infrastructure to address stormwater runoff issues in rural and disadvantaged communities. So when we're talking about green infrastructure, we're talking about those range of management strategies that mimic nature, those plant soil systems, permeable pavements and other permeable surfaces, stormwater harvest and reuse. We're looking for those types of solutions for mitigating stormwater and reducing flows to sewer systems and surface waters. And we like these type of projects, the green infrastructure projects, because they're sustainable, they're cost effective, and they're environmentally friendly. Green infrastructure focuses largely on collecting water and transporting it quickly, while green infrastructure tends to manage it right where it falls, allowing stormwater to be captured and infiltrated online. Which gives us water quality improvements along with the stormwater control and also often some ancillary benefits like providing habitat for plants and animals. And when we're talking about green infrastructure, these are the type of practices that we're prioritizing in here. So all of our eligible practices are ones you're probably fairly familiar with, things like rain gardens and green sinks, permeable pavements and rain barrels. What's not eligible for this program is the typical gray infrastructure. So basically, if it's a pipe or a culvert, we're not looking for those types of projects. We need it to be mimicking nature-based solutions for this program. Eligible projects must be related to stormwater management. So as much as this is a green infrastructure grant, this is also a stormwater management grant. So that needs to be kept in mind if you decide to apply next year. We have a minimum project cost of $150,000, and projects selected meet all of the federal program requirements that are pretty typical: Build America, Buy America, and Davis-Bacon, etc. Eligibilities. This program is open to municipal entities and municipalities. And this pot of funding, I think, is pretty unique because we are trying to make these types of practices more accessible to rural or disadvantaged communities. So they're going to be receiving priority and ranking and are not required to provide match. So this is a match free if you are rural, which is a population of less than 10,000, or qualifying as disadvantaged, which is defined using the Kentucky's annual intended use plan. So communities with a median household income of less than or equal to 80% of the Kentucky median household income. Projects that don't qualify as rural or disadvantaged can apply for these funds, but they are required to provide a 20% match. So this was our timeline for this year. As you can see, unfortunately, the deadline has just passed for this round of funding, but we are anticipating funding again next year. This year is confusingly fiscal year 25. And projects will be running from roughly the first part of 2027 through September 30th, 2029. We had 490,000 available this year, which was a bit lower than previous years, and we're optimistic that we will see that number increase as we go on in future years of funding. And for more information on that, you can contact myself. Also, we have another technical advisor, Paulette Akers, whose information is there, and our website is there. And I want to make sure that we have time for Chloe to talk, so I'm going to be quiet. And if there's any questions, feel free to jump in. Chloe, let me know and I'll move the slides along for you.
Okay. Hi, I'm Chloe Brantley with Kentucky Rural Water Association and also a source water specialist for the state. And I'm just going to talk to you. I have just one slide to share about the new Source Water Protection Fund opportunity, just a little overview of it that we have from our National Rural Water Association. We are every state in the United States has a rural water association. And so our national association has provided over $1 million of funding for people to apply for to do source water protection. I've tried to centralize all of the stuff for this program onto this slide, but basically it's funding to support shovel-ready fully scoped projects. And typically the cap is about $100,000 per project, but some higher amounts can be requested, but they just need extra review. So examples of eligible projects include a land acquisition and conservation measures, riparian buffers, physical barriers, wellhead or intake protection improvements, drainage, grading, erosion control, stabilization, signage, fencing, access controls, targeted risk reduction infrastructure, site stabilization and erosion control, and other location-specific protection measures that you can have through your planning documents that we do together with Dale and I and some of our wellhead systems in the state. There's application requirements. Basically, just what is the overview of the project? What is the budget? You have to have some documentation. But really, they evaluate it just on the impact and the value and how much you can demonstrate that that's a shovel-ready kind of project. So it really focuses on implementation and considers, priority projects that you have in planning. It looks at, your scope, your cost estimates, and your timelines. If you have matching funds. And then there's just some paperwork from boards to authorize you to apply for the funding. So if anybody's interested in looking at, what's involved, you can get in touch with me and we can walk through that process together. So far in Kentucky, we've submitted about 5 of those projects for funding. And right now, this is a rolling kind of fund. So there's no timelines, there's no deadlines. They are just seeing how this goes because it is a pilot implementation type of project where they get money. So if they get, projects on the ground and it's successful, then in theory, it would still continue to be funded in the future. So if there's anybody in here that's interested, contact me or Dale and we can get you started on any of these things that you'd be interested in. And thanks for your time, you guys.
All right. Thanks, Chloe. Thanks, Dale. Any questions for Chloe or Dale?
I have one more thing too.
Okay.
The Rural Water Annual Conference just opened for registration, and that's going to be August the 24th through the 26th at the Central Bake Center in downtown Lexington. So we have a lot of tracks that we are, doing for PSC commissioners, for operators, and we have a big agenda already online. And there's all kinds of other opportunities for session, not only sessions, but if you're there we have receptions, we have social hours, we have breakfasts, we have receptions and awards. So it's a good time to network and see each other. Dale and I are going to be there doing a presentation about one of our projects. So I urge you guys to go on our website and look in, and we would love to see you there.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, Chloe.
Okay.
Projects.
Project.
Thank you so much for y'all's presentations. Great presentations today. Really appreciate it. We have 3 projects to approve, 2 sewer and 1 water. I think MSD's first. Pulls up here. I was wrong. It's Trimble County's first here. So Judge Ogburn or Neil, whichever one of you gentlemen would like to present this Trimble County Park Water Main Extension Project to the council for approval. Don't hesitate. Neil, are you still with us?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, Judge Ogburn, did you want to, this is a project that we're working on. We distilled this project from another project to try to apply for Kentucky W Waters funding, which is now open. It's just a project that Judge Ogburn and Cherokee Willoughby with Bluegrass Engineers working with me on. So Judge, would you like to present it or do you want me to take it away?
Go ahead, Justin. You're doing a fine job.
All right. So yeah, Trimble County Water District is going to be the applicant here. The total project cost is $212,200. It's going to install 2,400 linear feet of 8-inch water main along US 421 in Trimble County to Trimble County Park. It's also going to remove some AC lines, some problematic AC lines that they've had issues with over the years. And we all know why AC lines should be removed. So I don't need to go into detail on that. So the current main is undersized, and it's also going. The main reason for this is also we KIPDA, the Community Economic Development staff, my colleagues and coworkers, Jennifer Wilson, worked to get a splash pad grant for a splash pad. So we need to get adequate water pressure to the splash pad through this project. So that's the first project. We'll hear from MSD on their 2 sewer projects. Nicole, are you with us?
Yeah, I'm here. Or do you want to
Okay.
go?
We have 2 projects from MSD. The first one is the West Louisville Neighborhood Odor Control Improvements Project. Did you want to cover that one or?
Yeah, I
Either
can.
Okay.
Go ahead, Nicole.
Yeah, so this and the next project, we got community project grants from the federal earmark. So we just need these profiles to be created so we can do our e-clearinghouse and NEPA review. This first one is for odor control improvements in West Louisville. We haven't identified exactly which catch basins we're going to update and modify and trap for this. So we're a bit vague with our shapefile for now. But we got a little over $1 million for this work. So we're working with our project managers to identify exactly which neighborhood we're going to target first for these funds. Do you want to go to the next one, Justin?
Sure. Thank you, Nicole. The second one is the Neighborhood Drainage Improvements Project.
So same kind of deal. Got the $1 million from the earmarks, FY26 earmarks. And we're also still trying to identify which projects we're going to use this funding for. Our drainage response initiative, or Project Dry, is what this money is going to help fund, and that just helps do a lot of smaller stormwater projects throughout the community. These will all be in McGarvey's district throughout Jefferson County. So once we identify exactly geographically where these projects are going to be, we will also update the shape files at that point. But right now, it's pretty vague description and will be finalized once we know where we're going to spend the money.
Thank you so much, Mr. Ruffalo. Really appreciate it. And thank you for joining us too, Stephanie. So those are our 3 projects. I'll take a motion to approve those 3 new projects, please. So moved by Scott. May I please get a second?
Second.
Second, Keith Griffey. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Well, thank you so much for presenting those, and we'll get those updated with the shape files and working with Judge Ogburn on the Trimble County one. So thank you so much, council, for approving those. I don't have much. I don't want to be redundant. Our guest speakers kind of already covered what I was gonna throw out there. Debbie did a great job. Cleaner water, just remember what that figure she threw out was across the state. Our regional figure is way, way, way lower. I think there's only 4 or 5 projects that we still need to get cleaner water dispersed to. She and I are meeting this Thursday morning to go over those. And I'm fully confident that we're gonna be able to meet that November 1st deadline, no problem, hopefully sooner. And also we have Kentucky W Waters, like Debbie covered. Anybody has, that's for, the assistance for trouble in economically restrained systems. Don't have too many that apply, thankfully, in our region. Last year we worked hard, but didn't get invited for any, but we're still gonna, do everything we can. If any of you guys meet those eligibility markers, please reach out to me, my division, and I would be happy to assist. All of our 2026 KIPDA system visits were completed by the end of April, and all the data has been updated. I appreciate all your all's time on helping me collect all that data. SRF call for projects will open up in September. I'll be coming around doing our county water management council meetings with you guys in the end of August and early September to prioritize your projects for that. So make sure if you guys have any projects you want to submit for SRF funding consideration, you get with me so we can get the ball rolling on that ahead of time, so we're not scrambling in December. The Environmental Finance Center is still providing technical assistance with any asset management plans that if you all don't have one of those in place, still need some help with AMPS, and you want our assistance or their assistance, either one of us can help you out with those. And I guess Chloe already talked about the KRWA's 47 conference coming up next month in Lexington. And then I guess the last thing I got for y'all is the Kentucky Water and Wastewater Operator Associations has if you haven't already signed up, it's tomorrow, 5 o'clock for our North Central chapter. So they're having a little summer get together. So if you guys want to eat some barbecue and hang out, that's tomorrow at 5 o'clock. You can enroll on their website. That's all I got, Chandler.
All right, thank you, sir. Any county updates or new business that anybody needs to bring up? Going once, twice. Okay. I don't think we have anything else. Appreciate everybody attending today, and Justin, thank you and your team for all the system visits and getting all those accomplished, and we'll look forward to ranking those projects this fall.
Yes,
As
sir.
we always do.
Hey, Russ, sorry, I got one quick thing. So I've been working on our KIPDA 2026 hazard mitigation plan update. It's an update on the 5-year cycle, just so we can still get FEMA grants for a region. I think I've already talked to pretty much all of you about this in our system visits. We did, Justin and I came around to do those earlier this year. But if anybody has anything additional that you want to throw in as far as like a mitigation project or something that would like help with flooding issues, stormwater drainage issues that you haven't already talked to me about, feel free to reach out to Justin or myself so that we can get that into this plan update. I'm trying to get that first draft in by late September. Our contract kind of came in late this year, so I've been kind of scrambling to get everything in that, but just feel free to reach out if you think of anything, so.
All right.
Yep.
Thank you. One last chance. Anybody else? We'll accept a motion and a second to adjourn. And
So
I think we got those. Thank you. All in favor, stand up or log off.
Thank you, KIPDA. Have a good day. Good to see your faces.
Thank you all.
Yeah.